Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sophie and today I will be making a brand new video tutorial for you about one of the Halloween yarns I've dyed. I'm an indie yarn dyer and I live in the Netherlands, and I dye lots of different types of yarn, but lately it's been the emphasis has been really on assigned purling. It's a technique, if you don't know about it, it's a technique where there's a main color in your yarn. In this case it's purple, and once every while within your skein there's going to be a contrast colored let me find one. There's a contrast colored section here. So the yarn is purple, it will turn yellow, orange, and a bit of white at the end, and then back to purple. And when you reach a contrast colored section of your yarn, you'll make a cluster stitch, which results in a very fun looking fabric. It's a bit 3D, you can touch it, you can squeeze these, which is very satisfying if you ask me, but hey. And today's going to be a bit different because usually I have these edited videos and there's music and there's little animations going back and forth. But it's been so busy lately because today's Thursday and on Saturday the whole Halloween collection will be released. There will be pumpkins, there's witch's brew, and there's these candy corn yarns, and it's been rather busy. So today's just going to be a bit more freestyling. I hope you like it. If you don't, I'd like to know about it. I generally love it when you leave comments or ask questions. And thank you for all the kind words you gave to me about last video, because the last video was about the pumpkins and there's a lot of pumpkin love going around. So thank you for that. And one note to any US viewers that are watching this right now: I'm working very hard to get everything up and running before Saturday so I can ship to the United States again. It will happen sooner or later, so if it's not going to be done on Saturday, it will be over the next week or so, and I do my utter best to be able to send the yarn to you as well. Okay, so let's get started about this video tutorial. As you can see, I'm knitting my Scatterlight shawl with two colors. So the light color is called Skye, and this is the Candy Corn yarn. And I'm going to demonstrate this stitch in a section. I just started on some corrugated rib. I think that's a good point in the tutorial to show you how it's done, because it's a bit more complex. Okay, so this stitch, okay, so this at this time we are at the wrong side of our fabric, and I'm going to show you anyway because there's not much difference between the right side and the wrong side in the way it's done. Except you need to pay attention to the direction of your knitting. It will all be clear. So I've done a couple of stitches in corrugated rib, so I'm alternating between the light grey and the purple, and now there's a yellow section of my yarn coming up. So what I'm doing, you always, before you go make your cluster stitch, you end with one of these contrast colored stitches, and you're going to turn your work, bring your yarn to the front, and then we're going to need something that looks like a toothpick. Now you may as well use a double pointed needle or one of these darning needles. That will do the trick. But in my experience, the shorter the better, because you're going to wind your yarn around the toothpick in this case. And if you take a very long needle, your movement needs to be bigger. And yeah, it's more convenient if it's a short item. So we're going to slip 5 stitches. So in the knitting direction, we're going that way, we're on the wrong side. So we're going to slip the first 5 stitches onto the toothpick. There we go. And then we're going to wrap the yarn. The yarn is on at the front of your fabric. We're going to wrap the yarn around 4 times. So there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Oop. There's the doorbell. This is what happens in live videos. I'll be back soon. Okay, so I've returned and I'm going to wrap my contrast colored yarn is in front of your needles, and we're going to wrap it 4 times around the toothpick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and folding your yarn to the back of your work. And as you can see, I'm not wrapping them very tightly, just wrap them loosely, that is fine. Now after 4 wraps, we're going to move the stitch that is closest to the knitting direction. Again, there's the knitting direction. So in this case, it's to the right, because originally we were knitting at the wrong side of the fabric. So we're going that way, and we're going to move that stitch from the toothpick to your right hand needle. So now there's 4 stitches left, and we're going to repeat. So we're going to wrap another 4 times around the toothpick. 1, 2, wait, I'm going in the wrong direction. See? I need to pay attention. So 1, 2, 3, another 4 loops. End with your yarn in the back, and now move another stitch to your needles from the toothpick, but take the opposite one. Okay, 3 stitches left on your toothpick. Repeat. It gets a bit harder now because your toothpick is enclosed by your knitting needles, but it's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, and once more change direction again and move 1 stitch from your toothpick to your knitting needles. Let me find it. It gets harder. If you have pointy needles, that's way better. I think this is hard if you have blunt needles. So I recommend getting a pair of good sharp ones. Okay, once more, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that lasts, so in this case we get the full 4 wraps. But sometimes your yarn is already in the last step. It's already changing color back to purple again. And that's the beauty of this stitch. You can adjust the last step. So there's the step, it's the step when there's like this, there's 2 stitches left on your toothpick. You can adjust that step to what your yarn needs, basically. So if you have a very little white bit left, just do 1 wrap. And if you have a lot left, do 5. Okay? Now we are at the last step. We're going to move these 2 stitches back to the needle that is to your left hand needle in this case. So you're moving it to the needle that has already been knit, considering the direction of your knitting. So we're going to swap back to the original position, and now we're going to just continue basically. And my next stitch is a gray one in the corrugated rib, so I need to move it to the front, knit 1 stitch. Well, just continue along your way. I'd like to add, I'm not going to show you the exact same stitch for the right side. It's pretty much identical. You just need to pay attention to the direction of your knit. And that's it, basically. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit less edited than usually, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I'd like to hear your thoughts, so go ahead, comment or ask questions. They're very welcome. If you want more updates, you can always find me on Instagram. My name there is AuridonYarns as well, and I'd like to see you next time. Who knows what the next assigned purling stitch is going to be. Have a very nice day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.